The most pressing worries vanish in an instant when life changes irrevocably, as Cathy Brokenshire well knows. The day before her husband James was rushed to hospital, she had been worrying about petrol. Specifically, how to find some. It was early October last year and a reported national fuel crisis had sparked weeks of panic buying at the pumps. Cathy, wife of the former Northern Ireland Secretary and Conservative MP for Old Bexley and Sidcup, had returned from a day out with their 15-year-old son, her fuel gauge almost on empty. Arriving at the family home in James' southeast London constituency at 4 p.m., she learned petrol had arrived in Sidcup. She had no reason to suspect her husband's lung cancer, which had returned 9 months earlier, was about to take a turn for the worse. He seemed absolutely fine, Cathy says. He gave me a cup of tea as I walked through the door, and I said, "I'm not going to drink that. I've heard there is petrol, so I'll queue up. I'll reheat it later in the microwave." When she returned, she and James curled up on the sofa watching TV. She took a photo of him. He looked as youthful as ever. The next morning, Sunday, James' oxygen levels unexpectedly plummeted and an ambulance took him to nearby Darrant Valley Hospital. On Tuesday evening, he was placed on a ventilator. 2 days later, it was switched off after doctors told Cathy he wouldn't recover. He was 53. Before letting go at his bedside, Cathy smothered herself in James' favorite perfume, hoping he could smell me. She reflects on their final night together at home and whether she would have changed anything. Had I known it was my last evening with him? Her voice falters. That it was a lovely normal evening, so maybe it was the right way. Before he was placed onto a ventilator, James called her. He told me how much he loved me and how much I meant to him. And he thanked me for being in his life, Cathy recalls, her voice cracking with emotion. My son was with me and I said to James, "You need to speak to him. I'm coming now." As she drove to the hospital, James said his goodbyes over the phone to the couple's 2 daughters, aged 19 and 16.